USA Today and Gallup have from time to time interviewed voters in swing states this year because, after all, that's where the bulk of the political activity is taking place. We identified 12 states that we say could go either way, or at least are considered by a lot of analysts as swing states, and we look at voters in those states and see what they're thinking and feeling. Most recently, we ask a series of questions trying to tap into the dynamics of the campaign in these states. As you might imagine, both Romney and Obama are spending a lot of money in the swing states and aren't spending much money in the hardcore red and blue states where the Electoral College vote is really not up for grabs. Well, first question, have you seen television ads that were positive or negative for both candidates? And sure enough, we find that voters in our 12 swing states were significantly more likely to say we've seen ads, both pro and con, for the two candidates than voters nationally, because we asked the same question of a comparable sample across the country. Look at the numbers in front of you there. A second conclusion is that there are more negative than positive ads going on in the swing states. That's not a great shock. Negative ads seem to work, but that's what our data confirm. 69% of swing state voters say they've seen a negative ad for Barack Obama, 63% for Mitt Romney. Not too much different, a little more negative for Obama. What about positive ads? Well, the numbers dropped to 59% of swing state voters have seen a positive ad for Barack Obama and 57% for Mitt Romney. So clearly a little more negativity than positivity. And also, when you look at these same questions versus the national numbers, we see considerably lower percent who say they have seen ads. Now, I'm not sure where they've seen the ads, maybe on national cable television, but a lot of people nationally have seen ads, but more have seen them in the swing states. So that confirms our hypothesis that there's more activity in the swing states than not. However, my next conclusion is that when we ask people, have you been contacted by a candidate through email or in person or by phone calls or by mail, and have you personally participated in the campaign, volunteering, giving money and so forth, we find basically no difference between the swing state voters and those who are across the country. Finally, a little cynicism here. We ask our swing state voters, have all these ads that you've been bombarded with, we didn't phrase it that way, but we basically said, have these ads you've seen for the candidates changed your mind? Well, only 8% of swing state voters say the ads have changed their mind. Political experts might say they have an effect even though people don't realize it, but what we're finding is voters want to tell us, no, those ads make no difference. And finally, 80% of voters in the swing states say they can't wait for the campaign to be over. That's slightly higher than what we find nationally and indicates that all of these ads and the campaigning going on in the swing states may be creating a sense of overdosing among swing state voters. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup Editor-in-Chief.